are back now with a scoreboard special. Wall Street week of turmoil. This crisis started with real estate, and the Paulson plan wants to make sure it ends with a plan to get real estate moving again. But what does the proposed program to take over troubled mortgage assets mean to you and your home? Joining me now from Boston is Brett Ahrens. He is columnist with the Wall Street Journal Online. And from Irvine, California, we welcome back real estate analyst Dani Babb. Always glad to see Dani. But Brett, first to you. Paulson says that because of the willingness or the ability or his order that the government now take over a lot of these bad instruments, it will free up lending on the mortgage side. Is he right?
Yes, he is. Listen, what's been very interesting for me is all week I have been swamped with emails from readers. And they're not asking the usual questions that you expect, you know, is this a time to buy stocks? Which stocks do you like? Which mutual funds? They've been saying things like, is my grandmother's annuity safe? Is my 401k safe? Is my bank account safe? We were on the verge of a systemic failure here. Listen, this was a necessary step. I'm surprised it's taken so long. This is really, really good news for Main Street. This is good for your investments. This is good news for your jobs. And it's good news for your house, the price of your house. Now, there may be more pain to come. I'm not saying everything is over. What I'm saying is the alternative, not doing this, we were staring into a bottomless pit. The best analogy for most people will be, you've seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life. We had a run on the bank, but we had a run on the bank that made 1932 look like child's play. We had a gigantic run on the bank, and what happened was that Hank Paulson basically jumped up on the table and held up a gigantic fistful of dollars and said, I can meet everybody's redemptions. And the minute you say that and people know you can do it, then the panic starts to subside.
Okay, well, hold on, Brett, because I want to go to Dani, because Dani's been on the front lines of the mortgage market for a long time now, dealing with everything from foreclosures to how the interest rates have affected mortgages. How does what Paulson just did, Dani, affect an ability to get a mortgage at a good rate?
Well, David, unfortunately, if history since January is any indication, it's going to do absolutely nothing. You know, the taxpayers have used $1 trillion in bailouts, in incentive plans, in buyouts, in exorbitant loans to all of these organizations. And what has happened? The lenders have given zero back to the American homeowner in terms of actually being able to buy a home. If you take zero and you multiply it by now $2 trillion, you still get zero. Banks are doing 4 things that are holding up the mortgage market right now, and they're keeping inventory out there. And until they resolve that, this is not going anywhere.
Dani, you look angry.
I am very angry, David. I'll tell you why, because I'm getting thousands of emails a week from people saying, I'm a small business owner. How come I can't use my gross income? Why is it now net? I'm getting thousands of emails a week from people saying, what's a declining market? And why are banks just suddenly making up a new value for my home? Why is the appraiser in the tank for the bank already? I thought they were supposed to be unbiased. The banks have gone the exact opposite direction. They've gone to an extreme, and unfortunately, it is the American homeowner that is hurting. And I'm afraid the more money we throw at it, it's not gonna help.
You know very well why the banks went to that extreme, because the market was jammed. The market was stuck. The financial system was actually stuck. It was like a big clog in your drain, and there was nothing going through to your side, which is where the mortgages were. So this is an attempt to unclog that drain.
But when you ask for 40% down because you take a 20% declining market hit, and by the way, it varies for everyone out there looking for a loan by a bank, so search out those loans, those lenders. But if you take a 20% declining market value and add a 20% down payment, you're asking people to have 40% down and 12 months reserves. Good luck getting any inventory off of the books. People trying to buy homes.
Go ahead, Brett.
All you're describing is exactly what's been going on, is that the whole system's been frozen. Listen, let's go back to the fundamentals. Is that we have come out of the largest real estate bubble in American history. It has been a gigantic bubble, maybe not quite as big as Japan '89, but it's been huge. Prices were way out of line. There was massive speculation, massive speculative building, and massive number of people who couldn't afford them, bought homes they couldn't afford with loans they were never going to be able to pay back. This is a problem that has to be unwound and will take several years.
All right, gang, we want to keep it focused, though, on real estate and what is going to be happening to homes right now. We welcome back our panel, and we include Miss Tracy Burns. Great to see you. So how soon is it going to take for this attempt to unclog that drain to pass down to Dani Babb so she can get mortgage rates that are decent and deals that are decent to get a mortgage?
I think a long time. You know, Barbara Corcoran, who's founded Corcoran Realty, was on today with Liz Clayman down on the floor at like 4 o'clock, and she actually said she saw a huge difference between the sentiment from yesterday to today. People had a little sense of relief. Well, that's fine and well, but you still go to the bank. The rates have not changed. I just checked them before I came here. They're still high, and I think it is going to take a long time before the banks.
When you say long time, give me days, weeks, months.
6 months to a year.
Can we, Mark? Can we wait that long?
Longer.
I don't know, but I'm on the same page. I mean, the issue is not the mortgage rates, right? So one thing, at Ava.com, my company, we get so many questions in our question and answer form about this sort of stuff. People are so perplexed. They're looking at the mortgage rates and they're saying, listen, they're still low. I can probably afford this mortgage rate. But the issue
But you heard what Danny said, 40% down.
Yeah, but the issue is vacancy rates, right? The problem is we overbuilt. There was massive gambling that was going on.
All right, but Toby, I want to get to this point, though.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take for what we saw today to translate through the system to mortgages that people can afford?
Well, I mean, 12 different assumptions. Let me pack it into one. If we get this system going and we have this new RTC going and we really start to get some sales, and let's say over the next 4 to 5 months, then you'll start to see the chance that there'll be some competitive bidders because there's going to be some money to lend. I mean, the issue now is that because there's been no secondary market, if the lender was going to make the loan, they had to keep the loan, and there's frankly not that many lenders that are in that position. The other thing is, quickly, look at California. I mean, I'm a Californian. 87, 88 was when we sort of went through that first bubble burst. It took to 1995, 1996 before homes came back.
Yeah.
That analog is a good analog.
But Al Lewis, it's not surprising when you think about what has happened to Fannie and Freddie, the ones that buy back those mortgages instead of banks that give out the mortgages keeping them. They're going through this turmoil. We just got the plan today from Paulson. I mean, it is going to take a little time before this translates into mortgages that people can afford.
Well, first of all, I would like to say that a 6.5 to 6.25 mortgage isn't that outrageous. When I bought my first house,
it's not, but again, with 40% down, the key is what they are offering those mortgage rates with. 40% down is tough.
But that's to do with the valuation of the property, not the rate.
Hold on, go ahead, Al.
The property could fall.
The 40% down is one thing. Another thing is lending standards. There's a lot of people out there that can't put 20% down. It is going to take a long time for this to trickle through. And if you do go back to the S&L crisis, I mean, it did take years and years, and this is a bigger and a longer cycle.
Years and years and hundreds of billions of dollars. The RTC cost about $300 billion. This one probably will cost a lot more. Coming up on deck, how the Paulson plan will impact everything.